Call the meeting to order. Michael, can you take the roll, please?
Ms. Buck?
Here.
Ms. Fryer?
Here.
Mr. Carrion?
Here.
CEO Ariana Miller? Ms. Rodriguez?
Here.
Ms. Rashid?
Yeah, here.
And Mr. Court?
Here.
All right. You know what? I think before we get started, Ariana, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself before being our new director? If you're shy, just make it short and sweet.
I'm from Charles A. Mooney. I'm 13 and I really like to read.
Oh. Well, you're at the right place. Yes, thank you. All righty. Our first order of business is approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of March 19th, 2026. If there's no omissions or additions, I move for adoption.
Second?
Ms. Bunce?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Court?
Yes.
Okay. The second order of business is the president's report. I know we have a lot going on. It's like, wow, you have to I know we all have to maybe pick and choose where we can make it to because there are so many. A couple of the things that I went to in between our last board meeting and this one, I went to the Eid celebration at the Eastman branch, also known as the Walrus branch. You know where that's at, Ariana? The one on 117th and Lorraine? The one with the walrus in the front?
It has a statue of a walrus.
Oh, yeah, everybody knows it as the Walrus branch.
I think South Brooklyn's her branch.
Oh, South Brooklyn. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And I think we're busting out at the seams there, Director. It seems like every year it's getting bigger and bigger. So
I feel like every time I turned around, someone had to get more and more chairs, and then we ran out of chairs. But people were just even so happy to just stand around.
it was perfect. And then we also had the celebration here in Brett Hall of the Common Table and the dancing wheels. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just to see and what they're doing. And where was the dancing wheels from? Is that the name of the group?
Yeah, the dance wheels.
Dancing wheels. They were so cool. And then I'm starting to become a staple at the South Branch over there with Jaime on food pantry days. I think I'm just in the group email anymore. I was like, where are all these people's cell phones? But it is a lot of fun. And just even seeing a lot of people that I've known and grew up with. And one of the things that I did, and it was nice that the South Brooklyn staff came out, was I do a procession every year on Good Friday with the Hispanic community. We process from Sagrada Familia to St. Michael's on Clark, and they all came out and were waving. So that was pretty cool. You know, so that was busy. So I know you were busy too, and all of you guys are, so.
The Eid party was very fun. You had your henna that you got was really nice. The food was great. There was such a diversity too. It wasn't just people who like observe Eid. It was community members engaging in the fun, which was really great. I very briefly, but I couldn't stay the whole time, got a glimpse of the performance of YY Time, and I wish I was able to see all of it. But the biggest thing I did was going to PLA conference in Minneapolis, which was really special. The sessions were, I don't know what I was expecting, but it was greater than what I thought it was going to be. It was really nice to spend time with staff that I don't get to engage with on a more personal level a lot and get to know each other better. We got to see the wonderful Jennifer Jumba put on the most special like author panel that made me more excited to read all the books that I was able to get after her session. And I think especially being in Minneapolis with everything that's been happening in our world was really great. The opening sessions and all the special speakers for every morning opening session was, it reminded me how special it is to be a trustee. I was just telling Trustee Corrigan that throughout meeting other professionals who came for that conference, it was very unique to see that it's not common trustees get to go to these conferences, and to be able to come from an institution that gives us this opportunity to learn. I just felt even more special because other librarians and library staff showcased how they may not be as connected to their board, or their board doesn't have the same opportunities. So it was just really special to be able to go and learn and bring back these things to here.
Nice.
I'll echo Trustee Rashid's comments about PLA. I think I'm never surprised when we go to conferences, the respect and admiration that folks have for Director Thomas, but it was shared across all of the staff. Oh, do you work with so-and-so? Oh, I love so-and-so. There was just so much love and appreciation for the work that we do here in Cleveland, which I really appreciated. Can't say enough about Jennifer's session that she led. And one of the things that is just important to me as an individual is being a lifelong learner, which is why I'm thrilled to be in this position here as a trustee and support this city to be the same. And I think it was such a privilege to be able to learn alongside other trustees and staff and having them really interrogate what we do and are we serving all people? How could we do that better? So I really appreciated lots of one-on-one conversations with staff about how can we serve this population better, or just really examining what are the needs of the people in the communities that we serve. And so many sessions gave lots of inspiration and hope, just around like how we continue to do what we love. And I can't thank the director and the team enough for the opportunity.
Every time we go to a national conference, we feel like people are so jealous of Ohio, and Cleveland is like, our director's the hero of the whole nation. Of course, your daughter was also, you were speaking of Dancing Wheels. She's the one who took Dancing Wheels to China, your daughter, when she was hit of it, right? Am I wrong?
No, that's
That's a different Dancing Wheels?
a different dancing.
So I'm totally messed up on that story. Yeah, but anyway, that's so true every time you interact in national.
Oh, I just want to add, it was really nice to see the Annisfield Book Awards be represented in Minneapolis. And I know we just had the release of the winners. So that was like a full circle moment when I saw who the winners were yesterday too.
And then I always like to highlight something that we don't think about all the time about, particularly at Maine, although the branches are wonderful. But during the month of March, if you see the report, the long loan requests to the 5 CleveNet libraries that needed non-English language materials, more than 2,900 items were distributed in the month of March. And that's in addition to the very, more than 300 items that we did to our own patrons here in the main branch itself. So we really are the public research library for the whole region, and we're really critical to a lot of people's needs in that regard. So just kudos to everybody in that's the long loan people and the people who do that sort of things aren't always recognized. I wanted to make sure to recognize them for a change. So
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We're now going to move into the director's report. Director.
All right, so I'll start with my new contemporary who is taking over for me. And I gave her a list of things that I don't want to do for her to take on. No. But Jacqueline, if you could come up and talk to her about the winter literacy challenge, because Ariana was the winner.
Yes.
And that's why she is here.
We had a winter literacy and attendance challenge where we partnered with the Cleveland Browns Stay in the Game Network. Their goal is to help scholars come to school every day. And in the cold months, we know that sometimes attendance can go down. And so we partner with them to also make sure scholars come into our branches as well. And so the challenge was amazing. There was over 8,200 scholars who participated. Thank you to Crystal and all of the campuses across our system. They worked so hard to make sure our babies was registered. And Ariana Miller, she's in the 6th through 12th grade category. So we have different prizes by age group. And so for her age group, there was CEO for the Day with Director Thomas. There's also CEO of the Day with Dr. Morgan, please. Thank you. Dr. Morgan as well. And then the laptop. But she chose, her tickets went towards being the CEO with Director Thomas. And she comes to us from the South Brooklyn campus. And I think what makes this moment so proud is not just seeing this young woman be here in this place, but also just knowing how well connected our branch staff is with our young people. I was able to go and talk to the South Brooklyn youth services staff at our meeting yesterday, and Ray and Adela was able to tell me all about this young woman because they know her, they've seen her, and that is what makes this even more special. That it's a library kid who won, and I'm just so proud of her. And yeah, so that's why she's here, and we are just grateful for this moment where she gets to learn and grow. And we're happy that the People's University is, standing behind her in that space.
Thank you.
So Ariana's already learned the first role of leadership. So John Malcolm came into our office while I was in there, and he was like, I want a raise. And she said, I can't give you a raise. If I give you a raise, everybody else will want a raise. First role of leadership. Never commit to one person over others. So we're going to make sure Ariana is taken care of because she's a possible library director of the future. We want to make sure she's given that opportunity. I want to, everyone's talked about PLA. The one area though that we haven't talked about was the keynote for the first day was Brian Stevenson. And Brian Stevenson was phenomenal. And he spoke to librarians heart to heart about the importance of what they do. And while he will be here in May 17th, and probably won't speak to just librarians, we're going to get as many folks who would like to go to see him there because I think his message really speaks to inspire folks. And all that we want to do to make sure that our folks understand why we do what we do.
Everyone should know how inhumane it is to have anybody in solitary confinement for 30 years.
Yeah, he has transitioned his presentations, and I've seen Brian Stevenson speak say 5 times, and this one wasn't all about what he does with his project around, working with inmates who have been, who were innocent and the innocent project. But he is speaking more to bigger things, right? That how all of us in the work that we can do have a part in trying to change this country.
I remember when he was here the last time, he talked about how handsome he was when he was a young guy arrested while he was mowing his grandma's lawn.
Oh, no. Yeah, so he's got a lot of stories. I do want to commend, where is Miss Erica? Erica, can you come up real quick? Because Erica has a really important story. Now, Ariana, too, was like, I had one of the the author's books on my thing, and Ariana's like, oh, I've been reading this book, and I went to Girl Power and all of it, and she spoke to the power of it. But you told the story about the young lady. You told me personally about the story.
Yes, regarding the author or Ariana?
No, the author.
The author, yes. So Ariel Vinson, she was our keynote speaker for Girl Power last week. We had over 600 people here at the Cleveland Public Library. We were at Huntington last year. We wanted to bring it home. And so we had all of those people and the wonderful kids in our building. And Ariel is the new CSK John Steptoe winner for New Talent. And so we are grateful to have her here at the library. Her book is around community, and it's around the skating.
Well, I was actually talking about the story you told me about. Was it the teacher, the young student, and the teacher saw that student later with the apple?
Oh, yes, with the apple. So many connections, right? So we have one of our presenters throughout the day. The kids participate in breakout sessions. And so we had someone here from one of our arts programs and art therapy studio. And so she presented a breakout session, and she connected with someone at the branch because one of her artists were out sick. And so she connected with a specific student. And then she came here to Girl Power, and she saw that same student. And so when she worked with the student at the branch, the student gifted her or the branch a piece of art for her to keep at the branch. And so they had to close their eyes and draw, think of something that made them feel special. And so the same student, the teacher walked around and the same student drew what she gifted the branch, which was a picture of an apple. And so the teaching artist believed that that was her connection to the library, to the art therapy program that we do. And so she also got a chance to connect with Mr. Bailey. I want to shout out to everybody who helped with Girl Power, but she specifically mentioned Mr. Bailey and how he helped with the girls at Girl Power. And so it just brought everything full circle and what we do with our vendors, with our programs, and how we connect with the students at the branches. So it was really special.
Thank you.
Now, you guys, one of the most important things is when we do the Your Story Starts Here. And there was a request to hear more about what we've done with the language services prop and how the Radical Hospitality Language Challenge went.
So you have a twofer today. I am personally implicated in this story, so I just want to give a little bit of context. Last year in 2025, the CPL Rise Committee created something called the Mentorship Pilot. So it was a program where they were going to be matching up for a pilot program, 6 staff members with 6 other staff members who could be their mentors. And I was so fortunate to be one of this part of this initial cohort of mentors. And I don't know what kind of magic sorting hat they had to match up the mentees with the mentors, but I was lucky enough to be with Lisa Held from our foreign literature department. And she is one of those unsung heroes you were talking about, Trustee Corrigan. As we got to know each other, we both discovered that we have this shared passion for language and for culture. And so with Milos's blessing, Lisa came with us to the Walls pop-up party that we did last summer. And before we went there, she kind of shadowed about how we were planning this event. And she looked into what the language statistics were for that neighborhood and then pulled together some resources that CPL had so that they could be on hand at that event. And it cost us nothing to do that. And so we got to talking about what else could we do. So Brian, would you hit it for me? We wanted to talk about what it is that we could do that would have a huge impact for our patrons and for our staff in that space of language, because language is like that fundamental human thing. And we also wanted to do it for as little money as possible. So I have a couple of slides because you go ahead and you can scooch forward a bit. And so this was while spending as little money as possible, right? Because that's definitely what was going to get Director Thomas's attention. So you go ahead. Brian, you can move ahead. So we picked out 3 of our amazing collections with items that we have, resources that we have. Number 1, our foreign literature department with our 400,000 volumes and our more than 50 languages. Our welcome card that was released last fall that is available for people who have no current permanent address. And then our on-demand language translation services that our Impact and Belonging team has set up. So those were the 3 items that we really wanted to promote to both staff and to our patrons. So go ahead, next slide, please. So we came up with a plot. It was for the month of February. We were going to ask staff who were willing. There was absolutely no compensation for this whatsoever, but we were going to ask them if they wanted to wear a button indicating that they spoke another language or that they were learning another language. And then they were going to keep a tally of how many times they interacted with staff or with patrons, because this really was both internal and external hospitality, how many times they talked about these different items that we had selected. It was going to take place over 4 weeks, and then the staff would self-report to us, the challenge champions, about how many times they did this. So we're going to go on to the next slide. Then, like I said, no money being laid out for this. So we were going to have some different categories of winning, a winning region. So we divided it into 5 regions: East, Central, West, LSW and Maine. We were going to have a winning language and then an overall winning participant. And it was about bragging rights and friendly competition. So keep going, Brian. Thank you. All right, so we ended up having a total of 575 interactions around language in the month of February from our 48 participants. They spoke 17 different languages that were reported just among those 48 people that wanted to participate. And I think that might have been the last. Oh, yes, okay. So there were 221 221 interactions in the West region. That was our winner there. We had Spanish, which was our number one language, with 347. And we had one overall individual amazing all-star, which is Rachel, with 153 at Fulton. So that is definitely why West ran away with that one. And so then there's the last slide, I believe. I'm sorry. No, that was it. So those are the 17 languages that were reported. But there's one more really kind of fun piece about this. When on Monday, Lisa and Milos and I presented this project to the Allen County Public Library, and they had heard about this and thought it was just a really neat project, and they want to copy and paste and start doing this project at their library too. So with no further ado, I want to introduce my partner in crime, Lisa, who's going to talk about some of the results and how this came to be from her end.
I was told to give a little background about myself, so I hope that's part of it too.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes.
Wow, what a narcissist. But I'm Lisa Held. I work in the Foreign Literature Department. This August, I'll have my 6-year anniversary with CPL, and the last 4 of those are in Foreign Lit. I come from a literature and research background. One of the kind of upsides of working in academia is the travel grants and the conferencing that allows you to get a lot of experience traveling, living abroad. Most of the languages I know, most of my foundation for cultural competencies was built on that time, so I'm very grateful. The downside to academia, though, is it can be a little insular, and there's this kind of weird trajectory where the more you know, the more you specialize, the more expertise, kind of the more protracted your audience gets, and the less people you get to spend time with, the less communities you serve. So working at CPL was like a great antidote to that, and just a great balance between, the academic and the personal. I started out at Harvard Lee, and I got hired right before COVID. And then we had the pandemic, and so I started, during COVID reopening, and so that was, on one hand, like a very hectic time, but on the other hand, I think that was probably the best and the most immediate introduction to this service model that we've been calling radical hospitality. Sitting down with people, having to listen. What do they need? What's going on? What can you do for them? So that was just like a great way to be brought into that. When I moved to Maine, I was kind of looking for opportunities, try to keep that, working in that same spirit. And I was allowed to steward the Arabic and the Celtic collections. And not only was that like personally fulfilling for me, but it was a great excuse to get out into the community, volunteer, I help teach Irish classes sometimes, but also to, forge partnerships, get together with some of those organizations. And that's had a really great return for my department, not just in terms of like word of mouth, circulation, long loans, which I'm so glad you brought up, but also, people wanting to use the Foreign Lit Gallery space, people thinking about CPL as a place to hold their events. So I've been really happy with how that's been developing. Excuse me. And then, as Melanie mentioned, the mentorship program opened up, and at first I was like, oh no, is this for younger people? Am I too old to do this? But I was like, oh, I'll go for it. And luckily I got it, and I can't say enough good things about the program. I got paired with Melanie, who I can't say enough good things about. And one of the first things she did was she opened up a space for the foreign lit department to be at that Walls pop-up. And I'm going, oh, great, great. I'm trying to get the books together, get the demographics. And then, I just got access to Canva, so I'm like, make a little flyer. And so what I made was just this little flyer that said, excuse me, I can say hello in, had some flags, what language can you say hello in? The foreign lit department, we've got over 45 languages, come check us out, And I had two kind of bits of logic in that. The first part was, it's not asking too much, right? Most people will know how to say hello in one language, right? Most people know hola. So I was like, okay, that's a easy way. Also, I said, hey, I can say it in these languages, so I can offer you some hellos if you don't know any yourself. And the second kind of logic was, aside from being this easy, comfortable, this introduction where you can tell me about you and I can, you can ask me questions, we can interact. The other logic was, well, let me get some data. Let's see, what languages are already spoken here, who's new, who are the new Americans that we need to start ordering books for. So it was really great for that. And again, just a little flyer, just a little hello, and people opened up. They were, it started with, oh, I learned a little Polish when I was a kid, and then they're telling you how the neighborhood had changed and what's going on. So it was a great way to just also get these neighborhood histories, offered as well. It was just a very joyous event. It's very well organized. So shout out to everybody who organized that. It's a very hot day. There was tons of popsicles, which was great. By the end of it too, we even had the police officers talking to us in Ukrainian. So it was just a fantastic event. So kind of out of that experience and out of this flyer is kind of the inspiration for the Radical Hospitality Challenge, right? Because it was kind of eye-opening how such a small thing works so well. Didn't have flyers, instead we have pins, and those pins will either say I speak or I speak, I'm learning. You could have whichever flag you want. So, if you speak a dialect, you can let people know about that. And it was just, we got a great response. And I know you saw the, I'm gesturing like they're still up there. I know you saw all the datas and the breakdowns. But there's two things that I wanted to add to that. The first is that some of the stuff that we got back, some of the response from staff wasn't so much numbers, but stories. We did get a lot of stories. So we're hoping to do this again, and we're like, oh, okay, if we get to do this again, we have to figure out, how to log those stories. There are even more interactions than the data represents. There are even more languages than the data represents, but you can't fit that many flags onto a button. So a lot of people just kind of chose, but then they'd get back to us like, oh, I got to use my Kazakh with someone. It's like, it's fantastic. The other thing I just wanted to mention about it, it was such a fantastic, and this is just kind of me talking about my personal experience as well, but it was so fantastic for just kind of also creating opportunities and interactions among staff, right? You see, oh, you're learning Arabic. I speak Arabic. I can help you. Oh, you know Norwegian? I've got 3 words. I haven't been there for a while, but it's, again, it was just a great opener. And then the other part of that too with the staff is it was great for intergenerational connection, because I'm an older person and some of the younger staff come around and you're friendly, hi, how are you? And especially too, with the pages, these are young kids. I've taught universities. You're around 18-year-olds, you crack a joke, they don't get it, the room goes silent. So, just with some of the younger staff, oh, what's that about? Oh, I speak this language. What, do you speak any languages? Do you have any languages? Are they teaching you anything in school? Maybe you can take this language in university, talking to them about their job, prospects and kind of what they're interested in. So it was a great way to open up conversations. And again, I know we keep talking about the zero money, the no money. So I just, we did this, the first run, got a great response. It was great for generating a lot of trust and goodwill, not just among patrons, but among staff. And so I hopefully we get to, this is like the pitch part of it. Can we do it again? And a lot of staff said, hey, can we do this again? And as we were doing it, more staff were finding out from other staff members about it. So even, that's another thing about the statistics, right? Even in that last week, we had such a change in the statistics just because people were, coming on board, later, can I still join? Yes, you can still join, why not? So yeah, it's just for the price of a few pins and a few pamphlets to be able to generate that amount of staff morale and goodwill, I just think is worth it. And so again, it would be nice to be able to repeat it. Thanks
you.
so much.
I just wanted to quickly add, because I know we have such other great things to talk about. At the PLA conference, there was a session called Beyond ESL that was basically kind of talking similarly about some of the efforts we've done. And it was led by an individual, and I'm blanking out of her name and which specific branch, but it was in Ohio, New Hilliard and Columbus area, which obviously is a very newcomer populated. And they do the pins. They have the pins, all of their staff at their branches were the pins as of a year or so ago. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, this reminds me of exactly what we did. So it's just another full circle moment.
Nice.
That ends the director's report. And Ariana is touring around with, she'll be back for lunch.
There are no communications that came through. We're now going to move into the Finance Committee report. Trustee Corrigan, please.
Yes, the Finance Committee met Tuesday, and the following exhibits and resolutions are proposed. Exhibit 1 is a resolution to accept gifts for the month of March, whereas the board received gifts of money, library service materials, technology resources, and miscellaneous non-monetary gifts from generous citizens from time to time. I attach this resolution as the gift report. Be it resolved that the gifts described in the gift report for March 2026 be accepted upon the conditions connected to said gifts in accordance with section 3375.40K of the Ohio Revised Code. So moved.
Second?
Ms. Budd?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Corrigan?
Yes. Exhibit 2 is a resolution to renew the maintenance agreement with Tyler Technologies for support and to update licensing of the enterprise ERP system, whereas in March 2006, 20 years ago, the library entered into a system agreement with Tyler Technologies for the maintenance of the library's Munis ERP system, now referred to as Enterprise ERP, and continues to expand the functionality of the library's ERP system, implementing modules to improve efficiency. Be it resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to execute all documents necessary to renew the maintenance agreement with Tyler Technologies, subject to the Chief's Legal Officer's approval for the period beginning May 17, 2026 and ending May 16, 2027 at a cost not to exceed $99,619.26, with the expenditure being charged to the general fund account 130-10053-53360 computer maintenance. So moved.
Second?
Ms. Budd?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Corrigan?
Yes. And Exhibit 3 is a resolution to authorize the agreement for managed print services. Whereas on May 16, 2019, the board authorized the library to enter an agreement with Applied Laser Technologies, VSL Applied Laser Technologies LLC, or ALT, for the lease or purchase of and maintenance to multifunction devices, desktop printers, and production print equipment. This board subsequently authorized renewals of that maintenance agreement with ALT on June 18, 2024, and again on June 17, 2025. Whereas there was 5 technical proposals responded to an RFP for this sort of work, and the selection committee recommend that the board authorize the library to negotiate an agreement with Applied Laser Technologies, ALT, to purchase new multifunction devices and pay stations and to provide service and maintenance of the library's multifunction devices, desktop printers, and pay stations for a 3-year term with 2 one-year renewal terms. Now therefore be resolved that the board hereby accepts the recommendation of the selection committee and authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to negotiate and execute an agreement with ALT BSL Applied Laser Technologies LLC for the purchase of multifunction devices, printers, and pay stations for a total cost not to exceed $351,704.61, which with such amounts being charged as billing repair fund to capital outlay, which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the chief legal officer. Be it further resolved that the board further authorizes the executive director, CEO, or his designee to negotiate and execute an agreement with ALT BSL Applied Laser Technologies LLC for the service and maintenance of the library's multifunction devices, desktop printers, and pay stations for an annual cost estimated at $87,294.22, with such amount being charged to the general maintenance fund with the code of the branch department and 53-53350 machine maintenance, which agreement shall be subject to the approval of the chief legal officer. We discussed this at length at the finance committee, and I move its adoption.
Second?
Ms. Butts?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Corrigan.
Yes. Exhibit 4 is a resolution to authorize lease of space for the Asia Town branch. Whereas on December 18, 2025, the board authorized Executive Director, Chief Operations Officer, and Chief Legal Officer to explore the options and issues related to the collaborating with Midtown Cleveland, Inc. and the NRP Group, LLC, to open an Asia Town branch in a new building to be built by the NRP Group. And whereas the External Relations and Developmental Department, in conjunction with the Cleveland Public Library Foundation, have already secured $600,000 in grant and philanthropic pledge funds to go towards our build-out of the Asia Town branch, and we're working to secure additional funding in support of this initiative. The Executive Director recommends that this board authorize the library to enter into a letter of intent and lease agreement with Midtown Lofts LLC, which is part of NRP, in order to allow the library to take advantage of this unique opportunity to expand its services to the Asia Town community in a new and innovative way. Now therefore be it resolved, the board hereby authorizes the Executive Director, CEO, or his designee to execute a letter of intent in substantially the same form as is on file with the board secretary, and thereafter to negotiate and execute a lease with Midtown Lofts LLC consistent with said letter of intent, which lease agreement shall be subject to the approval of the library's chief legal officer, and which lease payment shall be charged to the general fund account 172-20053-53510 rental leases. And I'm gonna steal your thunder by saying the rent is $1.
$1, yeah.
Yes,
It's pretty cool.
$1 per year, and I wanted to address the two questions that came up during the Finance Committee discussion. The first one being yours, Trustee Butts, about the rental payments. And so as this is a low-income housing tax credit project, residents will be limited to people who earn between 30 and 80% of what's called area mean income or median income. And their rent will be capped at 30% of the tenant's income. So rents are estimated to range between $458 and $1,478, and that depends on not only the tenant's income, the household income, but also the size of their apartment.
Does that include parking? Did they get charged extra for their car, you know?
I do not know, but I do know that there's an allowance for utilities within that payment. So I would imagine that that's all rolled into one. And that rent range accounts for apartments between 1 and 3 bedrooms in size.
1 to 2. Thank you.
You're welcome. There was also a question about whether the additional payment, which is in addition to that $1 per year rental fee, the common area maintenance charges, includes security, and it does in as much as it includes costs for security technology like access control, cameras, and license plate readers, but it does not include a portion of, say, security guards salary. That is something we can explore further with the developer if needed.
I just am thrilled by the philanthropic support secured for this, so thank you, Shanice and Felton for
Thank you.
making sure that this was something that we could work
Because
towards.
I mean, this compares to $5,000 a month we're still paying for the Garden Valley rental, right?
Yeah.
Rent that space. So a zero rent, I mean, the $1 rental, it's pretty cool. And it's 700 something for the rest.
600.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second,
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
yes.
Ms. Shakarian.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
and Mr. Corrigan.
Yes. Exhibit 5 is a regular housekeeping resolution, the Fourth Amendment to the year 2026 appropriation. Missouri Revised Code Section 5705.40 provides for the amendment of an appropriation measure when necessary. And whereas resolved that the sums indicated in the attached Fourth Amendment to the year 2026 appropriation schedule be approved. And as Carnegie said, the big thing is the Young Foundation.
Oh, no, and the appropriation, it's the appropriation for the multifunction devices, the printers and the base stations for the all.
Okay, I was trying to remember what the change was, so that's in order and it's the regular thing we should do, and I so move.
Second.
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
and Mr. Corrigan.
Yes. The balance of the Finance Committee report is the Fiscal Officer's Report for March, Report A, the Report on Investments for March, Report B, Report on Conference and Travel Expenditures, Report C, Report on all vendor expenditures, Report D, Report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency funds for MLK Junior, Rockport, Glenville, and Walls, Report E, final report on expenditures made from the owner's contingency fund for the Eastman Reading Garden Lighting Project, Report F, and that is the last one? Oh, wow. And the fees paid for legal consulting services for the period January 1 through March 31st, 2026, Report G. Those are the appropriate reports, and they're for the public and our edification. And that concludes the Finance Committee.
Thank you, Trustee Corrigan. We're now going to move into the Human Resource Committee report. Trustee Shakarian.
Thank you, President Rodriguez. The Human Resources Committee met this week and reviewed the following exhibits that we're presenting today. The first is Exhibit 6, Resolution to Adopt a Health Savings Account Plan. Whereas on November 8th, 2025, the Board of Library Trustees authorized the library to contract with Medical Mutual for employee health insurance benefits for 26. And whereas under the contract with Medical Mutual, employees have 4 coverage options from which to choose, including a high deductible health plan, which has not previously been offered to library employees. And whereas high deductible health plans are health insurance plans that offer lower monthly premiums but carry high deductibles and out-of-pocket costs compared to traditional plans. Whereas unlike traditional health insurance plans, high deductible health plans can be coupled with a health savings account, which employees fund through automatic payroll deductions on a pre-tax basis and which can be used to pay for qualified medical expenses. And whereas the IRS rules require that employers adopt and maintain a written plan document known as a cafeteria plan that governs pre-tax benefits such as health insurance premiums, flexible spending accounts, and health savings accounts. And whereas the library administration desires to amend the library's existing cafeteria plan to include the health savings account plan attached to this resolution, and now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Public Library hereby adopts and approves the attached health savings account plan, which adoption and approval shall be retroactive to January 1st of this year. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
and Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
And I present the regular employment report detailing the transfers, terminations, resignations, and retirements. There were no new hires in this term. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Bunt,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Rashid,
Yes.
and Mr. Corrigan.
Yes.
And I am very pleased to present Exhibit 8. But before presenting Exhibit 8, I actually want to, is this a new exhibit or is this just a from 2024, we had a retirement citation that had a typo in it. And I know it's from a couple of years ago, but I want to correct the typo for the citation that had been issued to Elaine Straka. She actually served the library for 45 years.
Wow.
As a senior clerk in the Cleveland Digital Public Library. And on behalf of the board, I apologize to Ms. Straka. It has come to our attention there's this mistake, and I move to correct the meeting minutes and reissue Ms. Straka's retirement citation with the correct years of service. So moved.
Second.
Ms. Buntz?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
And I'll proceed then with Exhibit 8, a retirement recognition citation. A citation has been issued for the following staff member on the occasion of their retirement. Jim Bettinger, 31 years, senior subject department librarian, science and technology, as of April 30th, 2026. Be it resolved that the citation for the above staff member presented by the Board of Trustees in appreciation of their faithful and dedicated service given to the library be recorded in the minutes of this meeting, and be it further resolved that the citation be sent to them forthwith if they are not present at this meeting of the Board of Trustees. And I'm sorry that Mr. Bettinger could not attend today, but before we call for the vote, I would like Mr. Spurdick to share a few words.
Thanks. Well, I'll start with first Elaine. I know she'll be very happy. She's been reaching out, so thank you to the board
Yes.
for recognizing her 45 years. And then
Can I
called Jim
interrupt you
Bettinger.
right there, John? I am so sorry. Is she one of our longest standing
Oh, yeah.
employees?
Really amazing. You know, people stay here so long, she's probably not even in the top 10, but.
Oh, really? Okay, that was I didn't mean to interrupt,
45
but
is still pretty
That's
amazing.
amazing.
It's pretty
that's
good.
very amazing.
Yeah.
It's not 75 though.
Right.
75 is the record.
Is that serious? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's like-
Do you know who that was? It's amazing.
Okay, I didn't mean to change the
No, that's
subject.
okay.
I just had to know.
Yeah, so I called Mr. Bettinger and I said, "Oh, are you coming to the board?" Because we were very excited about it. And he has sort of a whirlwind thing going on in his life, retiring, but his family's moving out of town very quick. They're already out, so he's like, "I'm sorry I can't be there," but he does send his thanks to the board. Jim he started here in April of 1995. Amazing career at Maine Library. He worked under the great Jean Piety, who was the head of our science and technology division for over 50 years. So he was really lucky to learn from the best. He was trained by her, and he became the expert in that department. I know Sarah Dobrensky, his manager, will miss him greatly. He has been our copyright guy, patent and trademark resource librarian. So we have such expertise at this library. It's always amazing. We'll miss Jim and his great service. And as well, his mother worked here. She started in 1980 in our technical services division. So we've had a manager on staff for, over, close to 45 years over. So,
That's so cool.
Great luck to him, and thank you, Jim, for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Awesome.
And we are dedicating a book in our collection to Mr. Bettinger as well. So
I'll second the motion.
thank you.
Ms. Buntz?
Yes.
Ms. Fryer?
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian?
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid?
Yes.
And Mr. Gordon?
Yes.
The balance of the Human Resources Committee report are reports on paid sick time, employee demographics, our EEO report, and the insurance summary report. And that concludes the Human Resources Committee.
Thank you, Trustee Shakarian. We're now going to move into the Community Service Committee report. Trustee Fryer, please.
Thank you so much. Report K is the monthly activity report. And I was pleased to see that after a drop in February, circulation is up 13%, patrons served up 12%, and in-person visits up 44%. With that, I will turn it over to Tana perhaps for the strategic plan scorecard update.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Before I dive in on behalf of the work that happens by all of these fine folks. So as you know, we're going through a refresh of our strategic plan. So for the scorecard, the last time we presented the scorecard to you, it was a wrap up of 2025. So we've now made some adjustments to our goals to focus just on 2026 because we'll have a refreshed plan at the end of the year. So I just wanted to call that attention
to your attention. Also, in your packets, you have an overview of our journey that will be going on for the strategic plan, as well as a list of the folks who are going to be on our design team. They're going to help to shape and inform our refresh. And then also, we'll be reaching out to you about trying to schedule a retreat in August for the strategic plan. Because I've made adjustments, I'm not going to go through line by line to read through each scorecard. I think what I can do is answer any questions you might have about the different areas. And many of the different topics have already been talked about in some of our previous reports.
I think when we did meet in and had this prior presentation, we talked a little bit about some of the alignments of the scorecard with some of the new state standards. CMSD specifically has to follow with career and workforce. Were there any further fine tunings of that from the last meeting?
Our workforce development, so I think Jacqueline can speak to the early literacy, but where we're focused is, if you recall from our strategic plan, we actually broadened kindergarten readiness to early literacy and really trying to support and make sure that families felt supported as they are focusing on literacy. And also for this year in particular, we're also focusing on staff confidence, and Jacqueline regularly does trainings at our youth services meetings to build that confidence and those skills with our staff, but no certain adjustments in terms of age group.
It was particularly actually the workforce development priority, just because of the changes that state law has instituted related to college readiness, career readiness. And so it's great to see the attendance for workforce development programming, but I think when we spoke before, it was more focused on adults than the youth in high school. So curious if that changes any of our perspective with the
We
state law.
haven't shifted. I think that would be something that I would want to take before the board to make that decision about making that shift to focus more on young adults. What we do tend to focus more on strivers and seniors and also trying to understand, doing more of the one-on-one coaching opportunities, we've partnered with a lot of partners, if that makes sense. And now we're trying to focus on where are the highest impact partners to take that relationship further.
It's a very important point. The school districts the school district is struggling to maneuver this, and some of the schools, this is a requirement that schools have
And
to
to
work
Thomas'
with.
point, a lot of those partners who are in workforce development are shifting because of this, right? And so just being mindful of that as we look to our next strategic plan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, I'll turn it over.
Oh, did you talk about the retreat?
She did in August. Did you say in August? You're gonna schedule it?
Perfect. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone who's being so thoughtful and intentional about the strategic planning for the update for the meeting. I'll turn it over to John Lang for the building status update.
Good afternoon, everyone. Excuse me. Felt odd not to have any sponsored resolutions out of the buildings department this month, but I.
Oh, don't jinx yourself. Next month we'll have
Well,
10.
we're working on a lot of.
He's gonna have a lot next.
We're
next
working on a
couple
lot of things that are going to manifest over the next few months, so I thought I'd give you all a sneak preview on some of the things we're working about. Our construction manager is bidding the Fleet Campus Facilities Master Plan Guaranteed Maximum Price Amendment, which we hope to bring to board next month. We are in the process of selecting the architects for the next 5 Group 2A projects in the Facilities Master Plan. That will be coming to board in the next month or two. We are set to receive qualifications from design build teams for the main campus fire panel and fire detection system recapitalization, which doesn't sound like a very exciting project, but in terms of scale and order of magnitude, it's about the size of an FMP project. That will definitely be a multi-million-dollar project. And we're opening bids on the tenant improvements for the Neoba space in Playhouse Square on May 7th. And I attended the pre-bid walk with some contractors and Michael Ruffing earlier this week. It was a really good turnout, so we're optimistic about good results
That's
there.
exciting to hear.
A couple things on the building and operations side. We had a number of power issues over the last month, especially with the windstorms of 3 weeks ago. I think at the peak of it, we had 6 branches that were down. Really the most persistent issue we've had has been Glenville. Really appreciate Director Thomas's augmentation of the property management team's outreach with Cleveland Public Power to get a prioritized transformer that's going to help the building and the neighborhood. And so all buildings are lighted
Were
right
all
now.
6 Cleveland Public Power, John?
They were not all, but I
Okay.
will say that we've had more difficulty with the CPP branches than the First Energy branches in general.
I mean, I think query for our own board in thinking about, being a public space and supporting the public good. I've been interested in engaging more with Cleveland Public Power, but if we continue to have these energy issues, that's worrisome.
It's definitely got our attention.
Yeah.
Update on the Waltz project. So project continues to face some financial stress, but we're okay for the moment in terms of construction progress. It's been very positive. We had the largest concrete placement on the project 2 Fridays ago. Had a lot of the project team out for that. Placed almost 200 yards of concrete for the elevated slab. That's essentially going to be the roof of the library and the deck of the apartments overhead. We're continuing with site work in concrete. The water line installation for the Karamside apartments is going to start in the next few weeks. That's going to require a partial closure of Detroit Road, which has been communicated through various means to the community. And then you might be interested to know we're in the middle of a renovation, refresh, I would call it, of the main popular on the first floor. West side of Maine. So we've got the painting done in the southwest corner, the new carpet's down. That's going to be the prototype for the entire floor eventually. And they're in the process of reestablishing the former Glenville Housing Court demountable partitions to reuse as reservable space in Maine Popular. So that project will be playing out over the next couple of months. There is an event tonight. I think it's through Public Services. I've got the button on. Tom Jung, who was the original architect of the Glenville branch, in his 90s now, and a national leader on the design of geodesic domes and some other things, is presiding at Dreams in Design at our Glenville branch at 5:30.
Which branch?
Glenville at 5:30 this evening. So that should be a great event. And I'll be working with Stephanie about potentially offering a hard hat tour of the Waltz site in the early summer timeframe. So more to come on that.
Perfect. Thank you.
If I could just add to this, there's because I haven't even had a chance to talk to you about this, John. Yesterday, I was at CMHA's Sankofa opening for their some of their new buildings in the central neighborhood. And we have been working with CMHA because we've been hold off on doing our Sterling building, waiting to see if the 2 buildings on the corner there might be able to work with the feds to get that turned over. And so there has been some movement on that. So any process with the federal government isn't very quick, but they were very happy to announce that they're trying to make that movement so the library can have some more expanded space to do when we do our renovation of Sterling. So
Good.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Look forward to the event tonight. I'll turn it over to Shanice for the Advocacy Task Force update and the Foundation update.
Hi, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So there has been some recent updates as it relates to property taxes that Director Thomas and Carrie participated in today with OLC. So I'd like to yield my time to Director.
yeah, so OLC had a webinar today that a group of 65 organizations have come together. They're starting a campaign. We'll send you the link today, so you'll be able to see what it is. But we're actively putting forward a campaign to push back against any thought of a non-property tax, a amendment to end property tax, which would basically take away $24 billion away from every basically public safety organization. And
So it's more than just libraries.
it's more than just libraries.
Okay.
It's right at the top of the list. They mentioned that that of the dollars, about 2.5% of the dollars go to libraries. Much more go to police, go to counties, go to parks, and all of that. So all of these entities are coming together. We expect many more to come together. There'll be a public campaign starting tomorrow that will kick off. I know on May 7th, the county executive is having a meeting to bring all of us that might be affected together to have that discussion. So there's a lot happening around it. no one really knows how many signatures they've been able to receive it, but there's going to be a cutoff at some point in time in July to have a number. They need 400,000 signatures. So
I
yeah.
believe it's like per county, there's a certain amount.
And they need, to have so many counties, at least 50
400,000
counties.
to put it on the ballot.
Yes.
Right.
It's a very daunting thing to have to move forward, but it would, if it moved forward, it would be devastating for us and for every organization that provides services to our community.
The website is protectpublicservices.org.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So getting the information to the general public, not to sign a petition.
Yeah, we'll work with Stephanie to have her send that link out later to you today.
If you need board members to help on that May 7th meeting too.
Of course, yes.
And
I think that would be
and
so.
a certain candidate is promising to roll property taxes back to before COVID numbers without any specifics about it. So all he's doing is contributing to the miasma of misunderstanding that's going on. And so I hope people mark that as
So
a reason to consider him.
protectpublicservices.org.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that in addition to the cuts at the state level, that would really be detrimental to us, really.
Yeah, it would be. The state level cuts would be just nothing compared to what this would do.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's, our property tax is 55% of our funding. So.
All right, that's it for advocacy.
Okay.
For the foundation report, well, I want to definitely thank Trustee Shakarian for acknowledging the work that took place for the Asia Town. That was a deadline like during the holiday season, and Joni from my team worked very, very diligently on that submission. And so I applaud her for her diligence and also the colleagues who were on vacay trying to get information. So thank you for uplifting that. I would like to bring up Nicole McGee because there was a question, Madam President, around our Library Loyalist Program. Just to give context, the Library Loyalist Program is an opportunity for individuals to invest in our mission. When we go out for Library Giving Day, it's typically a one-time gift, right? When we go out for a mid-year appeal, it's a one-time gift. But this is about investing in our mission. And for people who sign up, that's a real signal that they believe in our work because they want to contribute over time. And so what I'd like Nicole to talk about is where we are now, where we're going, specifically on how we're looking to institutionalize this work, and then go out and expand externally more. Nicole?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. So last month we talked about introducing the People's University Library Loyalist Program. And since then you've seen it on email and social and our website. It's been a big collaborative process internally here, and we've gotten it out. We launched it. Our aim was to launch it on Library Giving Day, but we're working on it for 2 months. So now is the perfect time to get more involved in it. So I wanted to share with you that our goal was to build that monthly membership program for people who already love the Cleveland Public Library. That's an important audience that we have not necessarily invited to be part of what's happening here in a concrete way, the same way that we sort of target new people and tell them how great we are. These are people who know how great we are, right? In our different branches. So we wanted to share how we're doing with the Library Loyalists. And as of Tuesday of this week, we have 57 Library Loyalists. So that's, right? That's 57 people that have committed to monthly giving. We have many more donors than that, but that's a pretty exciting start. And it's about 57% toward our goal of 100 loyalists this year. So that's exciting. We also had some wonderful support on Library Giving Day as a one-time day to call attention to the library. We had 23 donors that day with a total of 7,874 donated for that one day, Library Giving Day, many of whom are in this room. So thank you for both the loyalists and the one-time givers. And there's lots of opportunity for everyone in this room to become one of either of those. As I said, it's a one-day event that we launched it on, but there's a variety of ways we'll be pushing it in the coming months, starting with Trustee Butts and your book club, I just heard.
Well, I just realized I have 2 book clubs, and I should have been making sure they all, if they're getting our books all the time.
That's a perfect example.
Most of them live in the suburbs, but still, they use our system.
And they already love the library,
They should
so
be
they're-
giving every month.
I love that. Thank you for jumping on board.
So yeah, you should give us maybe another way to pitch them or
Yeah.
help us with all that.
We'll make sure you have the toolkit and what you need to invite people. It's cpl.org/donate. We'll get you there. We're also going to be putting postcards in our branches, thanks to a great collaboration with marketing, and Michael Young has been working really closely with me and his team. Digital signage, some pre-event signs. I know that that's something that Trustee Rodriguez has talked about before events, the rolling signs. So we're working on that with a QR code, and we have this wonderful visual. This is actually a sticker of our friend Jeanette Turner, who in 1921 was a volunteer to walk in a parade to support the passing of the bond for more revenue to build Main Library. So she was successful, along with, I think there were 2 library staff people, but Jeanette represents a volunteer, a regular Clevelander, doing a little extra to support this place that we all love. So we love her. I love her. I think other people tolerate my love of Jeanette. We made her into a sticker. That's one of the pieces that library loyalists will receive in the mail, as well as a welcome card that explains the benefits and thanks people. It looks like a library card. And there's some other perks, including shop discount and a tumbler and a book is available for you to pick up, a history book at the library shop. So those are some of the perks, and we'll be sharing that more. I also wanted to say we'll be sending out a newsletter from the library sharing the opportunity, what we've done so far, 57 loyalists, but the opportunity for more people to join. So Michael Young tells me that'll be going out on April 25th. And I love that I got a date from him. And I also wanted to say that in addition to these concrete ways, signage and postcards and invitations and emails, we also have a concurrent opportunity that will be happening actually the evening of the next board meeting, May 21st. There is an outside group that has organized and invited Cleveland Public Library to be the beneficiaries, the benefactor. It's the event called The Power of Words at Music Box Supper Club. So ticket sales from that event will come to Cleveland Public Library. We have the concert hall. The opportunity is for us to fill it with people who love the library. And this is like our friends and our families and all the people that we can think of, because the concert hall is pretty big. So it's a big opportunity. And not only will we be celebrating literacy and readings, each of the featured guests, including our own Director Thomas and our own board president of the foundation, Eric Gordon, and John Skirdick, who really was instrumental in making this happen. There's also, each person will be reading something that means something to them. So it's like dinner and a show, and the show is the reading. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll make sure you have the link to share to get tickets with your friends. It's, Music Box, you have to buy the tickets together. We'll be pushing the merchandise. Pushing is not the right verb, sorry. We will be inviting people to support the library in many ways, including to become loyalists at that event. So we want a full concert hall, and we're very grateful to Regina, Brett, and others at Music Box Supper Club who've invited us to be part of this. And they've said more than once, this could be an annual thing.
Nice.
So we got to start strong. May 21st.
Did I see something that employees get a pre-tax benefit if they sign up to be loyalists or something like
Employees
that?
get support from payroll, but it is not pre-tax.
Okay.
It's just
okay.
an
I
easy
just saw
deduction.
something for
Yeah,
employees.
it's
that
just
was-
easier for them to say, take it out.
$5 a pay goes to.
$5 and take it out of your.
And I like that you could give any amount you want a month for the month.
Yeah.
I was looking at that. And
Yeah, thank you.
that
Yes.
you could adjust it to what suits your budget.
Yes, exactly.
So
We're
excited about
that.
this.
Thank you, and thanks for all your support. We'll be following up more with emails, but
Yeah.
it's the perfect time to invite people to join.
Okay.
Right. And then, I know Ashley has to run.
Good afternoon, members of the board, Director Thomas. I'm pleased to share a brief update on the work of our department, Impact and Belonging, and our continued efforts to strengthen access, inclusion, and engagement across Cleveland Public Library. I'm excited to report we continue to see a strong community response to our cultural programming. We spoke about it earlier today, but in March, our Eid celebration at Eastman welcomed over 200 community members, reaching near capacity early in the event. This reflects both the demand for responsive programming and CPL's role as a trusted community space. Cleveland's 17th Annual Asian Festival. Looking ahead, we will be participating in the Asian Festival this year, once again, in celebration of Asian American Heritage Month. And in addition to that, for Asian American.
Is there a date you need to tell us?
Sure. The date is May 18th. May 18th for the 17th Annual Asian Festival. And in addition to the Asian Festival, we will be celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. At the Asian Festival, we will have an active presence connecting residents to resources, programming, and services while celebrating cultural traditions. Today marks the completion of our blindness basics training for all current CPL staff. In partnership with the Cleveland Site Center, this training will now be embedded into our onboarding for all new employees. This ensures sustained awareness and strengthens our ability to serve patrons who are blind and low vision. As we enter year 2 of our partnership with the Cleveland Hearing and Speech, we are continuing to reinforce our use of our on-demand interpreting and translation services. A refresher training in May, on May 18th, so let me back up. The refresher training is May 18th. The Asian Festival is May 15th and 16th. No, 16th and 17th. It's a Saturday and Sunday, so I apologize. Right, Saturday and Sunday. So as a refresher, in May, we will ensure staff remain equipped to provide real-time accessible communication supports across all service points. We are also concluding our leadership level training on trans inclusion at the end of May, with plans to expand this training to all staff, set to begin this summer with CPL. This work is critical to ensuring that both our workplace culture and patron interactions reflect respect, dignity, and inclusion. In closing, the Department of Impact and Belonging is focused on moving beyond individual initiatives toward a more integrative, sustainable approach, where inclusion and accessibility are embedded in how we operate, serve, and lead. This work positions CPL to meet the evolving needs of our community with consistency, intention, and long-term impact. Any questions?
Thank you so much, Ashley.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
This concludes the Community Services Committee.
Thank you. At this time, there is no old or new business. We had several public comments, and the staff responded to all the public comments that were submitted electronically. And I thank them for that. And at this time, I move to adjourn to executive session to discuss collective bargaining matters.
So, second.
Ms. Butt,
Yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Rasheed.
Yes.
And Mr. Ford.
I'm going to back conference, right?
Yeah.
Stephanie must have taken it. Did you take the book for
So the
Anna?
next
Okay.
board
I am
meeting-
going and call us out of the executive session.
I move that we leave the executive session.
Yes.
Second.
Ms. Butt,
I agree, yes.
Ms. Fryer,
Yes.
Ms. Shakarian,
Yes.
and Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Mr. Corrigan.
Yes,
And I also move that we adjourned
great.
board meeting.
Thank you.
1:54. Thank
Okay,
you.
I'm gonna hit the restroom.
Hit the rest.
I'm not leaving for lunch. I'm just.
You have to take a roll